About every corner has one of these, but there isn't much you can do because it's simply too hard to break down. Bringing your furniture outside could leave you with a hefty fine. And during these long winter months, one simple thing you can do to keep your body active and your mind clear is to have fun. Winter may be busy, but it might not be the favorite time of the year. Temperatures are making things possible for ski resorts to get things started. Andrew, but first we're going to take a look at how this snow has affected drivers in Minnesota. We complain about every year, when is the spring going to finally get here? You know, winter brings the cold weather, snow, slippery roads, but these aren't the only things that Minnesotans are having to deal with. If you've driven a car in Minnesota, you've probably been a victim.
I pulled out a couple times in front of people and it was scary.
You can't even see at all.
You've also probably had time to stop and think about how hard it really is.
When you come up to a stop sign, it's hard to see anything. You almost have to be out in the street to be able to look around and see if there's anything coming.
A tall, faded shield filled with dirt and maybe even a bike that decided to place itself rock solid in the worst spot possible. About every corner has one of these, but there isn't much you can do because it's simply too hard to break down.
With the amount of snow that we've had and the temperatures not really dropping, we haven't seen much melting, and so that's the reason for the tall snowbanks that people are seeing.
If you live in Minnesota all your life, you know there's going to be snowbanks.
Either just try to avoid those intersections if you can. The other thing is really you can just do the creep into traffic method, and that's really about all you can do. Just be very careful, creep, 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 and then go when you get a gap.
No matter how ridiculous this winter has been,
You should see the snowbank out back here. It's as high as my window.
the warm weather can't come soon enough.
I know. Can't wait. It's March, so yeah, I can't wait.
I'm not going to spoil it quite yet because that's Andrew's job, but I hear the temps are going to be much warmer, so those snowbanks will decrease in size and make it easier to see oncoming traffic. This winter, there's also been huge drifts on the sides of the highways. A north to south road will sometimes get a westerly wind, and when it does, having a 10-foot drift and blowing winds can make it hard for people to see or even have a driving hazard. But the good news is, guys, that crews are working hard and renting equipment to knock down those drifts and make it easier to see oncoming traffic.
First of all, it's just visually ugly. It's unsightly. It's an eyesore. You kids talk about eye candy. This is just an eyesore.
It might be a little early for college students to move out, but not too early
Maybe a little bit of trash.
to start cleaning up.
One of my buddies told me, they came up to my room and said they just came out with a new law saying you can't have couches on your porch, and as soon as I heard that I was like, what?
On Monday, the City Council passed a law that restricts residents of having indoor furniture outside of their home.
And when you have something that is unsightly and unsafe and a health risk, it oughtn't be allowed.
Bringing your furniture outside could leave you with a hefty fine.
It's a warning the first time and then a ticket eventually down the line.
$100 I don't want to spend on something like this.
Those couches, that's housing for rodents. I mean, it's an infestation.
An infestation that some may not agree with,
It's private property. I don't think they have the right to tell us what we can have on our porch and what we can't.
but others just wanting a clean community.
I mean, I've seen kids walk through stuff that I thought, this isn't right.
Karsen Forsman, UTVS News.
Who could look at the strong, handsome man that he grew up to be, who raised his hand and took an oath to stand and protect our United States, would soon be battling the perfect storm.
Jordan Beisman was like any other kid growing up,
And he was very, very energetic.
sharing love with his sister,
We had a lot of laughs. We had, very much the same sense of humor.
and of course, kept his mom on her toes.
No was not his friend. He did not like the answer no. He threw temper tantrums.
Just 3 days after graduating high school, Jordan's family didn't even have time to celebrate his achievements because he was off to the United States Marine Corps.
He ended up getting to be a videographer for the Marine Corps. He loved that. That was just his ideal thing.
When everything seemed to be going right for Jordan and his family, a cold November night would soon change everything.
That was the worst moment of my life. To have somebody come and tell you that your child is dead. It's not fair that somebody that's 25 years old with no health problems can just die from a seizure.
Jordan passed away from a condition called sudden unexpected death in epilepsy, also known as SUDEP.
That's the Marine Corps symbol. They all took their pins off their hats and put in with him in his casket. And that meant a lot to me.
After a year of grieving on the anniversary of Jordan's death, Lisa, her daughter Bonnie, and a friend of Jordan's decided they wanted to make an impact from their experience.
But I called them and I said, what do you guys think? Do you think we could do this video? And they said, absolutely.
There's risk for SUDEP.
A 2-minute public service announcement filled with SUDEP awareness
Minimize that risk.
and produced by people who knew Jordan.
To have as few seizures as possible.
They even combine a team every August to walk and help raise money for epilepsy research.
Maybe we can help someone to make sure that they're taking the extra steps to make sure that they're doing all they can to prevent this outcome.
You know, people talk about a storm and it's come so fast and so furious, and there's nothing you can do but ride it out. So that's, my son got taken by the perfect storm. SUDEP.
Something you may not know is 1 in 10 people will have a seizure in their lifetime, with 1 in 25 being diagnosed with epilepsy. So Alex is obviously a serious illness that we should be aware of. If you log on to Facebook and search for Jordan Beisman Memorial Fund, Lisa put up a PayPal link on the page, and I'll also have that link on our website at utvsnews.com.